That is not my experience. Hey y'all, happy Friday. Welcome back to Fearless Fridays. Today is Friday, July 8th. This is episode 125 of Fearless Fridays. As always, I welcome you to the show, whether it's your first time watching or you're a return watcher. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Do me a favor before we get started. Go ahead and click like, give me a thumbs up, and click the subscribe button. And also share with a friend. Like, subscribe, share. Go on ahead and press all the buttons. I love when y'all do that. Y'all help me out in this social media algorithm, and I appreciate it. So listen, this is what I want to talk to you about today. That is not my experience. Pause. Selah. So, it's really interesting that very often I find that people look at their own personal life experiences and assume or try to project their experience onto someone else, right? I think we've all done it. We've all looked at our lives, whether it was the way we grew up, whether it was the way we live now, our experience dating, our experience going to college, our experience with work, our experience with entrepreneurship, and we automatically assume that everyone is having the same experience that we are having. And so rather than asking people, hey, tell me about your experience, we talk to people as if our experience is true for everyone, as if our experience is law. And one thing that I have learned to do is listen to other people's experience while also recognizing that their experience is not necessarily my experience. It's not necessarily going to be my experience. And being able to articulate, that hasn't been my experience. I think it's important to be able to do that, to listen to someone else's experience, to empathize, but also be able to articulate and assert yourself when you say, that hasn't been my experience. That's not true for me. And it's really, really important to do this because if you begin to listen to other people's experiences and take them on as your own or take them on as law, you will begin to create your life based off of someone else's experience. And sometimes that could be a good thing. If someone's telling you about the amazing experience they've had with entrepreneurship and how the money is rolling in and they're sharing all of these things with you and you take that on as truth, yes, that's the experience I want to have with entrepreneurship. I want to be successful in my business. I want the money to roll in. I want to be popular. I want to be all of those things. And you start to walk out of that reality, that could be a good thing because then you start to bring that kind of experience into your life. But be cautious when a person is telling you about a negative experience that they've had. Be cautious when a person is sharing an experience that is opposite of the experience that you actually want for yourself. Because that person could be sharing their experience, thinking that it's everyone's experience. And you think to yourself, oh, wow, dang, that's how it is? I don't want that at all. And because you have taken on that person's experience, you have internalized it, you then begin to internalize that experience for yourself and you begin to walk that out. That experience, someone else's experience, becomes expectation for you. So if they're sharing their negative experience with you and their negative experience becomes your expectation, you begin walking in expectation that you're going to have the same negative experience that they've had and that you're going to get the same negative outcome that they've had. And that is dangerous. That is dangerous. So I think it's important to be able to recognize that someone else's experience doesn't necessarily have to be yours, especially if it's negative. If someone is telling you about their experience and you're thinking, that's not what I want, you can very proudly say, I don't receive that, or that hasn't been my experience, and move on. And also be cautious when you're the one sharing the experience. Because just because you've had a negative experience with a certain thing doesn't mean everyone's going to have that same negative experience. And this is a big and. We create our lives by what we think, what we believe, and what we say. What we think, what we believe, and what we say informs our choices. So if we're thinking we're going to have a negative experience, we start to believe that we're going to have a negative experience, and we start saying and repeating the negative experiences that we've had and expecting that that negative experience is going to continue. You're drawing all of that into your life. You become a magnet for negative experiences because you're always thinking about negative experiences, you're believing negative experiences, and you are talking, speaking, prophesying negative experiences. And you're bringing all that into your life. You become a magnet for negative experiences. I've said negative experience a lot in this, in this message. But be mindful of that. Be mindful of that. Be mindful that you're not the one speaking your negative experience into continued existence. Be mindful that you're not the one speaking your negative experience into someone else's existence. And be mindful that you're not listening to someone else's negative experience, taking it on as your own, internalizing it, and then expecting it, therefore creating it and drawing it to yourself. So important to be able to say, that hasn't been my experience. And I don't want that to be my experience. So I'm sorry that that's what you have gone through, but I'm going to believe for better. I'm going to believe for greater. I'm going to believe for what I want rather than believing that what I don't want is automatically going to happen. Think about it. Think about it. That's what I want to share with y'all this week. As always, the euphoria of fearlessness trumps the comfort of staying safe. Do not speak negative experiences into existence in your own life. Do not speak negative experiences into existence in someone else's life. Do not believe someone else's negative experience as the reality for yourself. Simply say, that hasn't been my experience. Have a happy Friday, and I will talk to y'all next week.